Hello.
This is Martin?
Yeah, sit up.
This is Cro. How are you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. You got us like on speakerphone or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now. I got you on speakerphone.
Okay. There's Phil's there with you?
Yep, Phil's here. Say hello, Phil.
Hello, Phil.
Sounds like a jackass. Okay, just to let you know, this is actually my first time interviewing like a band person, so this is a first time for me. So be gentle.
We'll go easy on you.
No problem. Oh, Phil's here, by the way.
I met Phil. Hi, Phil.
Oh, how you doing?
Good. Well, we just met like a few seconds ago. He said hi.
Oh, we did?
Yes, he said hi. He said hi, Phil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got temporary memory loss.
Yeah, I see. It happens when if I miss something, I usually hit myself in the head with the stick. So that's what happens.
He's fucking with you.
I got selective memory loss, so we're all good. I only remember the shit that I want to remember. Not to mention that right now we're broadcasting live on LeafPileRadio.com. So if you guys want to shout out to anybody, this is about you can do it now.
Okay, I'm going to do a shout out to our guitarist Paul Coleman. He's in the sun and fun right now in some nice warm weather, and we've got some warm weather here, but I just want to say hi to him, and I want to say hi to Mr. Thunder, our bassist, Jaime Carrillo, and I want to shout out to Martin, our vocalist. I mean, he's just like amazing. I mean, he's just turned his voice around. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, I'm even learning how to play drums again. Really, I mean, it's amazing.
So, I got a bit of a delay on the broadcast, huh?
Yeah, there's always a delay on the broadcast when you're broadcasting. I think the tech dude said it was like 5-10 second delay.
Okay, yeah.
When you say hello,
it's like you're listening to yourself in like a big ass fucking cave.
What do you want to know about us?
Well, my first question is going to be who are like your influences from like music, TV, personal life?
Wow.
Phil, you want to take that one first, and then
yeah. See, Phil's going to take that one first. Okay. As far as music goes, man, I mean, I listen to everything. Drummer-wise, Buddy Rich, I can't say. I mean, he started. Period. That I would say I go to extremes. Tony Williams. I mean, playing with Miles Davis when he was 12 years old. Then I go into, you might as well say, Dino Danelli with the Rascals. The triplets he was doing. Bonham, speaking about triplets, I mean, the father over there. Cozy Powell, Tommy Aldridge, on and on. Bands, Pantera, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin. They go on and on. Queensryche, I mean, amazing. Sabotage, I mean, just all around. Any heroes or anything? The only thing I can say is, and I lost her recently, was my aunt. My aunt meant an awful lot to me, and she's going to be greatly missed. That would be my hero. As far as anything to go with sports, I'm not into sports. If I was, I wouldn't be playing music. That's it.
I like baseball. It puts me to sleep. My influences, they range from, the Iron Maidens, the Queensryche, and all that kind of those kind of bands. But there's other bands like Thunder from England. A lot of people haven't heard of, stateside. Danny Bowe is one of the most amazing vocalists that a lot of people have never heard of. And then, I grew up listening to Scorpions, all the kind of bands that you hear back in the 80s and stuff like that. And, you can't beat that kind of music because it was so simple. Well, when you look back at it, it sounds like it was so simple. It wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for? Hollywoodized. It wasn't processed, nothing like that. It was real raw music, and it still holds its own today. Heroes from me, I don't know if I have any really. It's not Superman or anything like that, but heroes from me are musicians that actually stuck with it and made it, and stuck to their guns, basically, making it and not compromising when it comes to, the industry saying, well, you have to play stuff this way and you have to play stuff that way. I think there was a lot of that, during the 80s and 90s, but I think now with the advent of the PC and, anybody can create their own music, I think a lot of bands are saying, whatever, we'll do our own kind of music, and if you don't like it, hey, don't listen, but that's what's so cool about the internet age, I think. But, the older bands from the 80s and early 90s, they're still, proving it today. I'm not a huge sports fan. I like soccer. Yeah, I'm from Ireland. I have to like soccer. I like rugby. Baseball puts me to sleep, so I'll watch it every now and again. And just in case, if I want to get a good night's sleep, I'll watch baseball.
Yeah, our favorite pastime is kind of boring.
Yeah.
You mentioned Thunder. I'm actually a big fan of Thunder.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're they've been
sorry.
around. Go ahead.
No. I didn't hear you start talking, so just go with what you were gonna say.
Yeah, Thunder are one of those bands. They're kind of like you really have to be into music to know Thunder, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think a lot of people have heard of them stateside, but I grew up in Ireland, and obviously, they're an English band, so I got to hear them all the time, and I saw them play a few times, and they were just amazing. But if you go on YouTube and stuff, you'll actually see that they're still playing, and they're still pumping out the great music that they did back then, and their style hasn't changed whatsoever. And, the music proves, that if you have something that's good, regardless of how famous you are, quote unquote, it will outlast, you basically, which is what music is supposed to do. You think of all artists that have passed away, but their music is still, to this day. You look at Hendrix and bands like Cream and that are no longer. It's like, wow, that music is just amazing.
Yes, it is very amazing. I mean, not a lot of people know about your Thunders, your Leatherwolves, your I think Samson. That was Bruce Dickinson's first band before Iron Maiden. So, can you give me like a brief history of the band that you are currently in?
I'll let Phil do that because I'm essentially one of the newest members, and Phil has a more historical view on it as I do. Just cut him off because he'll probably give you a novel on it.
Graven Image. Paul contacted me about a year ago. I was playing in another band with Rob Moore, and things weren't really going so well with Rob, and he had to leave, and personal reasons. And Paul, we were chatting a little bit on Facebook, and then I started seeing his video clips about him playing. I'm going, is this guy for real or what? And his playing was just like in the back of my head. I'm going like, oh my God, And little by little, we started talking. And make a long story short, he came down at rehearsal. You might as well say I auditioned him. Sorry, Paul, but it was true. And we hit it off like unbelievable. I mean, he plays with so much feeling, and that's the way I play. So it was unbelievable. And at the time, Johnny was in the band, Johnny Lifeson, for a brief period, and he didn't come down that night. And I'm really glad he didn't, because of the fact that Paul and I hit it off so well. I think if there was two guitarists there, it wouldn't have been the chemistry that we had. And not to say anything bad about Johnny, because Johnny's an incredible guitar player. And then we had another singer named Brian Betterton. He was with Enemy Remains and a couple other bands, and I believe he's with Enchanter right now. And that's the reason why we were looking for a new vocalist, is because of Brian left, and we were looking for a vocalist. And lo and behold, Martin came into play. And I've got to give a big shout out to Dwayne, because Dwayne was like, turned him on to Paul. And Paul goes, did you ever hear about this guy? And I'm going, oh, Beyond Reality, Weapon X? Oh, my God, forget it. And then after that, it was just like, wow. So Martin came down, and we talked for about 3.5 hours. And we talked about everything, man, everything. We never even played. It was just chemistry right there.
We had an earthquake, too.
Yeah, that's the day that the earthquake happened, man. So I think that must have been a positive for Image right then and there. And then there was a bass player that we were going to use, and we never did. And now we have him. And thank God we do. Mr. Thunder, Jaime. When Martin came down and Jaime came down the first time, I'm trying to make this real quick, though. Don't forget, no one ever played together. It was immediate chemistry that night. We all looked at each other. I think we wrote the first song that night, or started to write the first song that night, to be honest with you, too. And ever since then, it's been fun. There's chemistry, the writing ability. We've got like 5 new songs out right now that we're going to bring when we hit the stage. We're going to do a couple of the old ones also, and that's about it. And the only thing I can tell you right now is the new lineup is just amazing. Martin has brought so much to this, and I'll just iterate a little bit. The other bass player we did have was Jeff Curtis. He's with Symphony of Malice right now. I just wanted to shout with him, too, because he was in the original over there. But anyway, that's about it with the Graven Image thing, and we're looking forward to coming out in probably, I'd say, a month and a half or so, and just having some fun.
No, that was going to be my next question, when you guys start getting out there again, so you answered that one, too.
We're going to try and shoot for sometime around January. Obviously, we're not going to stick to a specific date or anything like that. We're going to go out when everybody in the band feels that we're ready, that kind of way where we can go out and just play an entire set, whether it be half an hour or 45 minutes, but, really go out there confident that we're going to put on a good show and give people a good time. And if it's not January, then maybe February. But, for me personally, I don't want to just go out there and play just for the sake of saying, hey, we got a new lineup. I want to go out there and basically, show people that we've been working on stuff. And to be honest with you, since I joined, uh, we've been working on a lot of stuff. It's one of those things where we have to say, all right, enough already. We have to concentrate on what it is that we have right now, because if we didn't, we'd be practicing till the summer, and we'd have 100 songs, which is great, but at the same time, I want to get out there and play, at least 6, 7, or 8 songs, and really make people hear what it is that we're doing and go from there. But right now, it's the music that we're coming up with is just amazing. I'm having so much fun with it, and everybody else is, which is good. So, and from the stuff that we put on the website, on the Facebook page, the Graven Image one, we threw up a couple of demos, and we actually recorded, and there was a song called Twisted and Broken that was, they had an initial version, and we added to it, and we actually recorded it and released it to the world basically. And so far, we've been getting great reviews on it. So I mean, it's good to get that kind of stuff back. But we want to go out there, be confident, and just give people a good show. Basically that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I've been playing Twisted and Broken a lot. I love the song. It's amazing, and I was actually, when I got the song, I was talking to Paul, and he told me the whole story, but behind the song, that's just such a deep song, all lyrical content, the musicianship, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, great song to actually play. It's one of those songs where we have it in the set list, after a couple of heavy songs, and just one of those songs that you enjoy playing. You can't wait to get to it. Kind of like, all right, I want to get to this song, and I want to play it. And hopefully, if enough people hear it enough times, by the time we play it out and we get to the chorus, hopefully people can go, yeah, that's the song I like.
I mean, I don't mean to compare the song to any other mainstream song that's been released, but what it's saying, it sort of reminds me of Metallica's Fade to Black.
Really? Wow.
I mean, just on that sort of dark sort of, I'm going through something really, really, really bad, and I've been through hell.
Paul initially wrote the song and the lyrics like that, and then when I came in, I basically took the idea and the story behind it and put my own spin on it, maintaining the actual story and what he had written initially. So it's a collaboration between everybody as well, because it wasn't one of those things where and you say, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to do this and do that. It was more of a, it's a great song, but it needed something. And personally, when I heard it first, I played it a bunch of times. I mean, I literally played it 50 times. I told the guys that. But I always thought it was missing something. And, we worked on it all together. We collaborated all together to come up with something for it. And I always saw a lot of potential in that song. And, thankfully everybody listened to the ideas that I brought forward, and it turned out for me, I think it's a great song. It's got a great hook, it's got a great, storyline to it, everything like that.
So, I heard through the grapevine that you guys are working on another album, or working on a album.
We are working. We don't have a definitive album per se. And our idea of what we're going to do is, over the winter months, hopefully, is to put together either a mini EP or a full length. Because we have the facility at Phil's house to do this and record everything, our intention is actually to do some kind of a full-length release at some point. But our main objective at the moment is to get a set down so we can actually get out there and start playing to people. But as far as an album is concerned, absolutely, we want to get something out, but we don't want to, rush it just to get it out, that kind of way. But that's definitely on the card.
Yeah, I've. Oh shit, man. I was gonna ask something, my mind just went blank. Yes, it happens.
We do have ideas for what we want to do as far as an album is concerned, but again, our main focus is going to be getting a set created and getting out there and playing a few shows and letting people, Graven Image is still around, we're still playing, but it's a new Graven Image. So the sound is going to be different, but we are definitely going to be using some of the older stuff. And when we do finally do an album, hopefully, end of the winter towards spring is what I would like to start working on, or at least have a majority of songs done by, and get it out to people and say, hey, this is what we're doing, and complement it with shows, but not like a show every week. I've been in the situation where you're playing, you're asking people, hey, can you come to this show next week, that show next week? People get tired, so it's kind of like we don't want to saturate people with shows. We want to try and do it where people are looking forward to actually seeing us play out.
Yeah. That's what you gotta do. It's hard for fans to come to every show, especially this time of year where we're all fucking broke.
We're the brokest people you ever met.
And musicians are the brokest people you'll ever meet.
What was that?
So musicians are always the brokest people you meet when they're first starting out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'd all love to be rich and famous, but that's just a nice fringe benefit that you get. I think a lot of people, and you see it over time, a lot of people, they want to be famous and rich, but they tend to forget about the music. We're doing this because we love the music first and foremost. If we get, money out of it, hey, that's an added bonus as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is. Weapon X and Beyond was reality.
Yeah.
So, what was that all about?
Well, the first band was Beyond Reality. I joined them back in '93, so I'm dating myself here. I was only 17 when I joined them, but I joined Beyond Reality, and again, it was another situation where they had an old singer and things didn't work out, and we ended up doing a lot of music and playing a lot of shows. We became a very well-known name around the Connecticut, Massachusetts area, which was cool, because the music that we were doing at the time was very different to what a lot of bands locally were playing. We were more along the Vicious Rumors versus Dream Theater type of style of music, and we used to do a lot of shows at Toad's Place and places like that. Did a couple of I think it's prog rock or something like that down in Baltimore, and a prog fest that they do. But it was a lot of fun, and we actually we got some award from MTV. I forget what it was. We had some music played there and whatever, and it was actually a huge, for me, it was a huge step, because I grew up a lot musically. I got to meet a lot of people and do a lot of different things, and it was a lot of fun. But that fizzled out, and like a lot of bands do, you have your complications, problems, whatever, but it fizzled out eventually. And then I didn't do much for a while, and then I got a call from Vinny Guarnieri, one of my greatest friends. He lives in LA now, who ironically had auditioned for Weapon X as a guitarist, and he heard that I wasn't playing with them, and they had a band called Weapon X. And another thing, they had lost their singer, and he shot me an email and said, "Can you come down and audition if you're interested?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" And again, that led to, almost a 3.5, 4 year run with the guys releasing the Behind the Wall album, and working with a great producer called Buck Brundage in New York, and working with Phil Magnotti and Eric Stanford, who ironically worked on the first metal or Pantera album, Cowboys from Hell. And that was an experience to meet him and meet all these people, and that was great too, because we got a lot more exposure to a lot of people, and people actually enjoyed the album release. And I still, to this day, get a lot of people saying, "Hey, I play this album all the time in my car." And it's amazing. It just amazes me that people, still to this day, enjoy the music. And I didn't do anything for a while. I ended up with Graven Image.
Did you ever get fans from your previous band, like walking up to you on the street, like, "Hey, you're that guy from said band. You're that guy."
You know what? It's funny. I have, and every time I have, it's kind of like, essentially, if you meet me out in the street, I'm nice to people and whatnot, but I'm essentially a shy person. But, I have had people say, "Hey, aren't you, Martin from Weapon X and all that kind of stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am," and it just amazes me that people remember, the music and what it was that we did, because I think for the scene in Connecticut, we put a stamp on it, along with Beyond Reality. I mean, I've heard people say, "I remember Beyond Reality from back in the day, I remember Weapon X from back in the day." And it makes you feel good, It's like, wow, okay, yeah, you did something for people. You put out some good music, and people really enjoyed it,
Did you ever get, I don't know if you say, requests for your old songs?
I have gotten a few, yes, but again, it's not something that you can necessarily do with a new band. Essentially the past is the past, and people love to hear the old stuff. But when you're with a new band, it's kind of like you can't necessarily play your old music, because you're not playing your current band's music, and it would be nice to do, but I would never expect anybody to do that. If I could reform some of the bands for a day, absolutely. I would definitely go out and do it. I think it will be a blast, and I think people would really enjoy it.
Oh, now when you guys aren't playing, what do you do for fun?
Bill, you have a lot of toys.
For fun. Okay, I got into the import show car thing about a couple years ago. And when I'm not playing, I'm taking the car, the shows, and turning some heads with that. I've got an 03 Eclipse. I put about $150,000 into this thing, and my wife almost killed me, but it was my dream for 8 years to do this. And it's a Vortex supercharged, 500 horse, 475 to the crank, and it's a beast. And that has leveled me away, because the reason I did this, I was in a band. I was the drummer for Mortal Madness, as you know, years ago, and I devoted so much time into that band, and I forgot about my family, forgot about my daughter when she was growing up, forgot about everything. I was just tunnel vision. And I said, this time it's not going to be that way. So, and this is before Graven Image, and so I needed to get my head a little bit more situated, and I think by me doing that has given me more of an insight, even with the band per se, because of the fact that I'm not stressed like I used to be. Everything was the band. Now I have the band in the car and this and that. Sure, I get stressed with the car a little bit, but I took Martin to a couple shows this summer because he's never been to it, and he had a blast with me, and we both did. And this summer we're going to go out and we're going to have some more fun, you know. So that is my thing right now. Quiet time for me is just being home and I have animals. You know, I have a parrot, I have a cat, I have a golden retriever, and I have a pug. And Popo is the newest addition, and I play with him. Sunshine, which is the golden, I've had for years, and I play with her. Weezy is the cat, Simon is the parrot. I mean that. I have to have that in my life. Also, and since I met Martin too, Martin and I have been hanging. We've been doing things. Just going out at night and having fun. And when Paul has a chance and Jaime has a chance, they come out with us. Matter of fact, Jaime's dying to come out some more and stuff like that. But I mean, that's essentially, that's what I have for fun.
As for me, for fun, I hang out with Phil. Like you said, we go to car shows. I don't have a life. I have 3 cats, and I clean my house. It's a lot of house to clean, so it keeps me busy. I do a lot of, I don't know what I do. I do a lot of nothing, I guess. I'm not into big ass cars, and I have a Volkswagen Jetta. I changed the lights on it the other day. That was exciting for me. I mean, that's the extent of my car knowledge as far as I'm concerned. But I like to go out and see bands and stuff like that, and try to support the local bands that are out there. But I'm essentially up for anything. But I do hang out with Phil a lot, and the guys in the band when we can. And if I had lots of money and stuff like that, yeah, I'd be doing lots more. But I don't. So yeah.
So do either of you have like a favorite band in like the local Connecticut metal scene right now?
Right now, I have to say I don't. I've been out of the scene for about 3 years, so I really don't know a lot of the bands that are out there, but I'm starting to get out a lot more, and there's definitely some really good bands that I've seen, but I don't think it's like it used to be back in the 90s when there was, a lot of bands, original, I'm talking about original bands. But there's definitely a few out there. There's, Joey Concepcion's band, Oath of Sanity. I went to see them a few weeks ago at Cook's, and phenomenal. I mean, they're young kids, and Joey's a phenomenal guitarist, and of course, there's House of Lords, the good old Connecticut, and but as far as a favorite band locally, I haven't come across one yet that I could say is my favorite, unfortunately. But I'm hoping that will change. It looks like there's a lot more original bands starting to come into the fray, and that's good.
Okay. Who'd you like to? Who would you want to play with? Band wise.
What I want to play with? Honestly, I don't have any. Well, if it was local, I really don't know, because like I said, I'm just getting back into the scene. But
local or mainstream.
Oh, mainstream! I would love to be playing with Maiden or Thunder, to be honest with you. Those are, obviously those are bands that people strive to want to play with, but definitely Maiden. I would love to open up for Maiden sometime. I think it will be a trip. In Beyond Reality, I actually opened up for Bruce Dickinson at Toad's place, and got to meet the guy and hang out with him for a while, and it was a trip, because here's one of my idols, and I'm talking to him, and we're actually opening up for the guy, and it was a lot of fun. I opened up for a lot of big bands down at Toad's during the Beyond Reality days, And with Weapon X, actually, we opened up for Sabotage a whole bunch of times, Wasp, stuff like that, up at the Webster when it was cool. But you know, I've definitely opened up for my fair share of bands, and it was humbling to actually do that and meet the people that I grew up absolutely loving, you know.
Any advice for like future musicians of the world?
Yeah, stick to what it is that you love. Don't try to be famous. You know, you have, out of 100 bands, one will make it. You know, there's a band born every minute, as far as I'm concerned. And you have to stick to your guns. You have to love what it is that you do, and you don't. It's not something that you get into if you want to be rich and famous, because it's not going to happen. You know, if you get rich and famous, that's the luck of the draw. You know, it happens. But, you know, anybody starting out today that wants to be in a band and stuff like that, just commit yourself to what it is that you do, and have belief in yourself that, you know, this is something that you want to do, and yeah, you're good. And don't, you know, you see a lot of people, unfortunately, that are gods in their own minds. You know, that will get you absolutely nowhere, because then people will actually end up not liking you personally, and that will show on your music, because people won't show up at your shows. The best thing is to just be yourself, and you know, appreciate the fact that people come out to see you and appreciate the music that you play. But at the same time, you know, stick to your guns. Do what it is that you really, really believe in. And you know, if you get into music, like I said, to be rich and famous, you're getting into the wrong industry.
Yeah, you are. We're just about out of time. I just want to thank you both for sitting down with me, letting me poke your brain.
No problem.
Thank you. I appreciate it too, man. And Graven Image thanks you too, man.
No problem. I'll see you guys later.
Yep, absolutely, man. We'll see you out there.
Take care, man.
You too.
Good night, world.